Hello everyone, it's Chris. That balloon is a brand new attraction for Niagara Falls, New York. I've not been up there, but they bring it down, they float it up, you get a panoramic view of the whole area, obviously, especially the falls. Pretty cool. I don't know what they call it. Maybe we'll see right here at the sign, but this is where it's anchored, as you can see. Mayor! The mayor of Niagara Falls. We are headed today from Niagara Falls, New York to Niagara Falls, Canada. Okay, so this is the entry point for the crossing. I have Easy Pass, and I came over the border once before on my trek to Niagara on the lake. It recognized the Easy Pass, so it should recognize it again. Thank you. I've got Easy Pass, so it should pick it up. Thank you. Okay, so we are now in Niagara Falls, New York. Now look at the traffic coming in. I don't know, is this like the land of opportunity type of thing where all the Canadians want to come over to our side? I don't know. So there's the Niagara River Gorge once again. There are the falls. Look at this line. I've got to sit through that in a short period of time. This is going to be a quick tour of Niagara Falls, Ontario, which you can see there. You can see it in front of us. I've crossed this once on the Spyder for another video that I shot, and the crossing was super smooth, and I had a really cute border guard. She was probably, I don't know, 20 something, but sometimes this crossing doesn't go so easy. Now we'll see what it's like. We'll see what it's like today. The last time I didn't have to take my helmet off, but I did need to lift the lid. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so that crossing was a completely different matter from my last crossing. This guy told me that it was illegal for me to shoot the video, that because it was an interaction I couldn't do it. He asked me a ton of questions, asked me what I do for a living, and I told him, and he said, well, how would you like it? I work in government, okay, part-time. And he said, how would you like it if I came into your office and filmed you? And I explained to him, I said, you should Google a First Amendment project, because that very thing is happening all across the country, because you have the right to do that. People are going into government offices and filming, and some of them are literally hoping they get kicked out because they can't. They can film. Because he was asking me a lot of questions. I mean, he asked me a ton of questions. The cute girl last time I was here didn't ask me as many questions. I hope I don't get her in trouble. But anyway, we're in for a great tour of Niagara Falls, Ontario. We've seen a bunch of Niagara Falls, New York, and I've said many times I'm going to take you for a tour of, we're now entering the Clifton Hill area. This is a very kitschy area. But anyway, that was not the most pleasant encounter with the border guards that I've ever had. Now the question is, if he sees this, because I gave him my channel name, he asked me a lot of questions. You didn't see any of that because I shut the camera down when he asked me to. But if he sees my channel and he hears my commentary, like, what does the law mean? Am I going to be forbidden from coming back to Canada? I know I've got viewers in Canada. School me on this. You can see the Ferris wheel up ahead. That Ferris wheel is enclosed, and it's both heated and cooled. I've never been up there, but that's what I'm told. It's been a while since I've been here. When I first moved to Niagara Falls, I lived a stone's throw away from here, literally. And I would walk here often, so I knew it much better, but that was 10 years ago. So I wonder if every person who's in my field of vision, who's being recorded, has the right under Canadian law to sue me. Is it like a public execution thing? Is it jail? Do they come over and seize me? Am I banned from the country? If you know, let me know so I don't cross the border again to be summarily executed. Okay, this is Clifton Hill. I know people don't like it when I jerk my head around, but I want you to see kind of both. I guess I could ride down and up it. There's the Ferris wheel. You know, lots of kitschy stuff. Lots of American restaurant chains, as you can see. And there you can see New York State's Niagara Falls State Park right there. And I'm going to stand up so you can see Niagara Falls head on, because you've not seen this yet, at least not on this channel. You've seen it from the side, but the thing about the Canadian view of that is you can see it head on. And I'm going to make sure we come on this road on that side so we can get a closer view. We'll get much closer to the falls on this road as it winds around here. So I mentioned when we went to Niagara on the Lake how the Canadian parks folks, and just Canada in general, does a great job in their touristy areas with flowers and decorating, and Niagara Falls, Ontario is no exception. There's the Skylon Tower. We're gonna get close to that. We're not gonna go up on it. I've been up on it a couple of times. So there's the falls there. I hope you can see that. Again, your eye line is 6 inches lower than mine because of the way the GoPro is positioned, but we'll get closer when we're on that side, I think. The Skylon Tower is one of many towers that has a circular rotating restaurant at the top. San Antonio's got one. Toronto got the CN Tower. Seattle's got, what do they call it? The Space Needle. That's basically what the Skylon Tower is. And this is Horseshoe Falls. So that is the American Falls. Horseshoe Falls is the Canadian Falls, where like 90% of the water that pours down the Niagara River, 90% of the water's coming here. Now I'm shooting this in mid-September, and it's past the oh, we're about to get wet. The mist of the falls, not uncommon. I don't think it's going to affect the lens on the GoPro camera, but I'm going to pull over at some point up ahead and wipe both my face shield and the camera lens, just to be sure. So there's an inclined plane there that takes you from that, I forget what they call it, but I think it's the Falls View area or whatever, but up there, and it takes you down that tram to this level so you can come visit the falls. So this is an old power plant. I say old, maybe it's still active. So that's the upper Niagara River, just before it's going to pour over Horseshoe Falls. Niagara Parks Power Station. So I know there's now a tourist element to that, and I think you go down there, you go there and you go down an elevator and it takes you through a tunnel to the bottom of the falls. I think that's part of that. Floral Show House. That's a neat building. I believe that's also an old electrical development company of Ontario Limited. Wow. Okay, so there's a great view of Niagara Falls, Ontario. Niagara Falls, New York. There's that balloon thing. I hope you can see it off in the distance. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a old rusted out boat there. That's the one, I believe they call that the Scow, S-C-O-W. I think you can Google it, and it's been there forever. I just love this building. Imagine the history in that building. So you can see that cloud right there, that mist. That is not anything other than Niagara Falls is the mist coming from the falls. It's like its own weather system. You can see that it's like a plume you can see from a long way off sometimes, depending on the weather conditions. So these folks are getting soaking wet right now. I'm hoping we'll see an elevator at some point. There's a couple of elevators that go up. You can see the outside, the shaft, I guess they call it. Okay, there. Speak of the devil, there he comes. See the little yellow thing coming up? It's like a peanut M&M. Look at that. Isn't that something? If you've not been to Niagara Falls, both New York and Ontario, it's something to put on your bucket list. This is a neat little park. I forget what they call it. It's named after some guy or something, but it's really beautiful. This is a neat, like, go-kart track. I've never done it. I never will do it, but it looks pretty neat. Okay, now we're going into the Falls View area here. Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it? That's a nice hotel entrance. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is edit him out. I'm not sure how much of the video, but anyway, I forgot what I might have said during the border exchange interaction, but I'm going to edit that clip out so you can't see him. So, because my guess is somebody watching this might like know him or know someone who's in the, you know, Canadian border or whatever they call it, patrol, and he might eventually see it, and 6 months from now I'm crossing the border, and who knows. We're coming at the Falls View area from a different direction, a different perspective. I'm going to go down Murray here. You can't see it because of the trees, but I can see it. The falls are dead ahead, looking right at us. If I did this in the winter, you'd see those Skyline Tower. You'd see the falls crystal clear. Look at that. The falls are always beautiful, even in the winter. In fact, in some cases, more beautiful because they'll freeze. The water's still flowing, but there's a lot of ice all over the place. But the flowers aren't out as much, obviously. Oh my. If you can't see, so the Rainbow Bridge is dead ahead. And it is jam-packed. I knew it would be. We're going to have a long wait in that. I'm going to edit it. You're not going to be waiting with me. But I'm going to have... I say we a lot on the channel, and I just mean the viewer and me. Obviously, the viewer's not getting wet when we get the mist of the falls, and the viewer's not waiting. I don't know, that's probably a half-hour wait. They move pretty quickly, although I see a lot of red signs, so I'll bet a lot of the entry ports are closed. I'll know soon enough. Okay, once again, we're passing Hershey's, a great American brand, in Niagara Falls, Ontario. The Rainbow Bridge to the USA. Oh no. Oh no. This is really far back. This is really bad. I'd like to just stay right here under the shade for a bit. I don't guess they'd let me do that. She's not bad. I'd rather be in that lane, quite frankly, because that would get you the best views of the falls. Okay, you can see it's 12:35. It looks like there are 4 windows open. I shouldn't say windows, but positions open. And I timed it, so we've already been in line for a couple of minutes, but this is happening for the second time ever. Now I caught it on video. I started up before this even got going. I don't know that that's happened but once before. But anyway, 12:36. We probably got here at 12:32. We'll see how long we'll be here, but you can see that view there. Okay, so we're on third base, I guess. That's not the right analogy, but there's 2 cars in front of us. We've come a long way. Some of these lines were moving much faster. Oh, batter up. We're moving much faster than other lines, so it's kind of the luck of the draw. It is now 1:11, so let's say we came in at 12:35, so just over half an hour. Not that bad. I have a feeling this will be a much more pleasant experience than the experience I had coming in. And again, I don't know, is that a situation because I'm an American citizen, and if I was a Canadian, it'd be much more pleasant going to Canada, but less so leaving? I don't know. I can only speculate. Little old lady from New York State, and it's a pretty seamless transaction, then they're going to probably expedite that. Here we go. We'll see how this goes. Hey there. Of course. Can I lift the shield? Like that? Thank you. I got a YouTube channel, so I was just shooting video in Niagara Falls, Ontario.
How long were you there for?
An hour, maybe. Niagara Falls, New York.
Did you bring anything back with you? Any liquor?
I didn't even get off the bike, believe it or not. I've got a YouTube channel, so everything was shot right here, and we just drove around the area.
I just gotta verify your license plate real quick.
Of course, yeah.
And is the camera on right now?
Yes.
It is? Okay.
Hey, do you want me to shut it down?
Yeah, we don't want to be...
Okay, so that was ironic. He asked me to shut there were 3 guys at the booth, and the senior guy, he looked senior, he was certainly older than the other 2, actually asked me to shut I asked him, do you want me to shut it off? And he said, yes, we don't want to be filmed. I don't know. There's a thing called the First Amendment Project, and I realize that doesn't apply to Canada, where there is no First Amendment. I know they have, like, First Amendment-like rights, but it's not the same, right? I get that. But I'm pretty sure the First Amendment, maybe I'm wrong, maybe because it has to do with security, all of those things are out the window. But with the First Amendment Project, basically, you can go into your town hall and start, filming. And sometimes they're actually baiting public officials, whether they'll be elected or appointed public officials. They want someone to, they've got YouTube channels that are trying to create trouble. So they go in there with the hope that some poor elected official not familiar with this thing called the First Amendment Project will kick them out of the thing, and then there's a whole controversy and all the rest of it. But anyway, made for some interesting video. So folks, if there's anything that we've covered today that you have a comment on, please comment. If you've liked the video or anything about it, I'd appreciate it if you'd like it. And of course, I would appreciate it if you'd subscribe. The channel is growing just far beyond what I ever expected. We're past 1,600 subscribers now. Not that that means anything, but I never thought we'd get to 1,000. I never thought that. When you hit 1,000 subscribers, your channel is monetized. Now we make peanuts. The small channels make peanuts, but it's fun. It's fun to, see YouTube send you information every day where you just earn, $5 or whatever the previous day for basically going out and having a blast. So anyway, if you don't subscribe, if you would, I sure would appreciate it. And whether you do or not, we're on 3rd Street in Niagara Falls, New York right now. Whether you do or not, I sure do appreciate you watching, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.